the rail program manager at the San Francisco County Transportation Authority. We are collaborating with the planning department and with Caltrain on this study. I have a number of colleagues that have joined me for this discussion this evening, and so I'll ask Ryan from Caltrain to introduce himself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Ryan McCauley, Government and Community Affairs Specialist for Caltrain.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Ryan. And we're also joined by Bob from our consultant team. Bob, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Bob Grandy with Parent Peers.
Thanks, Bob. And Doug. Doug, we can't hear your audio, but it sounds like you can hear us at least. Thanks for being here. All right. Thank you again for bearing with us as we navigate Zoom's breakout room function, but looks like we're all assembled here. I am going to walk through a few orienting slides with respect to the station options. As we go through, feel free to drop any questions or comments that are occurring to you into the chat, and we will monitor those as we go and do our best to address them during the presentation. And we'll also have some time at the end to pick up any remaining questions or comments. So as Anna outlined in her introductory presentation, station locations in the Dogpatch and Potrero Hill include 3 options along the proposed Pennsylvania Avenue tunnel alignment: Mariposa Street, 22nd Street, and Cesar Chavez Street. Next slide, please. The Pennsylvania Avenue Tunnel is part of a future project known as the Pennsylvania Avenue Extension, or PAX. The purpose of PAX is to eliminate conflicts between trains and street users at Mission Bay Drive and 16th Street. Currently, at both of these intersections, Caltrain crosses surface streets at grade, resulting in gates coming down, resulting in delays to buses, cyclists, pedestrians, and motorists. With the implementation of the PAX project in the future, street users will no longer need to wait while trains cross. The PAX project is still in early concept development, and funding, construction, and schedule will be determined in later phases of work. What we know so far is that the downtown rail extension tunnel, which will extend from 4th and King into the Salesforce Transit Center, that tunnel would be extended further south beneath 7th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue, beneath those 2 grade crossings that I just mentioned. This route was endorsed by the Mayor's Office and the Board of Supervisors in 2018, following completion of the San Francisco Planning Department's rail yard alignment and benefits study. We don't yet know exactly how far south the PAX tunnel will extend, but it could require the redesign or relocation of 22nd Street Station. All scenarios currently under consideration include a station somewhere in this stretch of corridor. Next slide, please. This slide summarizes some of the advantages and trade-offs of the 3 station locations being considered in Potrero and Dogpatch. When looking at Mariposa, with respect to some of its strengths, because it is the farthest from the Bayview, it would offer the best station spacing, assuming a new station is built in the Bayview. This is important for efficient train operations. Mariposa would also serve existing 22nd Street riders, as well as Mission Bay, new waterfront developments, and the Chase Center for events. Mariposa also offers access to major crosstown transit connections on 16th Street. The team considered a station on 16th Street itself, but ultimately concluded that that would be infeasible because the tracks are on a curve at 16th Street, and you can only build stations on straight segments of track. Some of the disadvantages of Mariposa are that the ultimate compatibility with the design of the PAX project is not yet known. The location is also tricky because of the curve to the north, the freeway to the east, Potrero Hill to the south, and residential neighborhoods to the east. The tunnel and station could result in some property impacts, and a Mariposa station would need to be very deep and thus would be rather expensive. At 22nd Street, there are a few design alternatives depending on the PAC's design. The 22nd Street station could remain unchanged in terms of location below the freeway where it is today, or be built in a deep tunnel similar to Mariposa. Some of the strengths of 22nd Street include that the location is established and familiar and well integrated into the urban fabric, serves existing riders as well as new waterfront developments. The design option that rebuilds portions of the station in the current location is relatively less expensive. If PACs were not built, the station would stay in this location and the city would work with Caltrain to implement accessibility and customer improvements separately. With respect to some of the disadvantages of 22nd Street, tunnel and station construction in this location could result in some property impacts. The underpass location can be unpleasant and limit improvement options, and the tunnel design would be expensive. Moving on finally to Cesar Chavez, with respect to advantages of this location, it is a lower cost station compared to options within a deep tunnel. It would serve some, but not all of the existing 22nd Street ridership. With respect to some of the cons of Cesar Chavez, it would be difficult to access given its position between Potrero Hill, Islas Creek, and the I-280 freeway. It's also surrounded by large industrial uses with truck traffic and limited opportunity for pedestrian-friendly design. This location also has sea level rise concerns and would require a complex construction approach. Finally, Chavez is too close to some of the Bayview station options. A station at this location would preclude optimal station spacing for all but the Williams station option in the Bayview. We'll now walk through a few images that give an idea for how these station options could fit into the neighborhood and how they could be designed. These are all preliminary ideas to spark our collective imaginations. First up is Mariposa, this image looking towards downtown from the south. The station would approximately be at the intersection of Mariposa Street and Pennsylvania Avenue on the west side of the 280 freeway. It would be below ground to meet the deep PAC's tunnel. Station depth would be similar to that of BART on Market Street. Next slide. This is another view of Mariposa, still looking down toward downtown and the bay. Riders could access the station from 16th Street, 17th Street, and Mariposa Street, both east and west of the freeway. Next slide. Moving to 22nd Street, this station would be in the same general location as the existing station. As mentioned previously, there are a number of design alternatives for this location, each of which could work with one or more of the different PAC's tunnel alternatives. Next slide. Today, we'll share the design option to rebuild the current station while improving accessibility and user experience. This view is from someone standing on the 22nd Street Bridge looking south, away from downtown. The current station has side platforms. This option would create a new center platform. As explored in Caltrain's recent 22nd Street ADA Access Improvement Study, this option would also add an elevator or ramps in order to create a point of access from 23rd Street as well as 22nd Street. Next slide. Finally, we'll move down to Cesar Chavez. This station could straddle Cesar Chavez and Marin Streets just west of the 280 freeway. Next slide, thanks. This view is looking towards Potrero Hill in downtown. Riders could access this raised station from Cesar Chavez or from Tunnel Talk Park on 25th Avenue. This station would be difficult to squeeze between the Potrero Hill Tunnel and the I-280 freeway, but we think there is just enough space.